We can chat.
and start
Cause
talking.
listen. The
I'm
the
listening.
gray wolves are so important.
They
Those
are.
are so
Like,
important. They literally like so many things were going wrong with Yellowstone, down to like the beavers not having good enough quality wood to make dams, and deers being overpopulated, plants were dying and stagnating, and certain areas of Yellowstone were being overgrazed because of overpopulated deer herds, and then they were like, oh, and then on an unrelated research note, the researcher was like, hey, we should reintroduce gray wolves because they're currently endangered, and like they were normally here in Yellowstone. So they go and get gray wolves and bring them in and reintroduce them and stabilize their population. Guess what fucking happened?
you would
The gray
know.
wolves, the gray wolves prey on the deer, causing the herds to move and migrate over the course of the year, which allow the plants to recover from overgrazing. Because the plants can recover from overgrazing, and even stuff like the beavers just goes back to normal. You'd have fucking thought that balancing the ecosystem balances the fucking ecosystem. Gray wolves play an extremely important part in the fucking balance of an ecosystem. A predator is necessary to keep all the prey animals in check. People don't
They
understand. And somehow people still don't understand this. Like, how do people not understand the importance of a prey animal in the area?
like a predator
A
too. Like, okay,
twitch,
okay.
a predator
Can I
animal in
add
the
in my
area.
little puts in my little paw? Okay, I
Fine.
need to also
Okay.
talk
Yeah.
about other ones like secondary like predators that are like they're not like the dominant predators. They're not like a wolf. So like you have the wolves and then you have like coyotes and like lower down.
Yes.
Those when those become the highest predator in that area, they usually are the ones that immediately get stigmatized afterwards and then they get started hunted down.
Yeah,
But
and then all of a
they
sudden we
get
have the problem that there's no predator.
yeah. And the thing is, when you suddenly do that with them, is that they don't immediately know to fear humans as quickly, too. So they're more likely to be impulsive and go around humans, and then because the stigmatization that occurs, they get shot and killed. They
Yeah,
get fucking mass murdered.
wolves have this learned habit of avoiding human settlements. There have literally been studies showing that wolf packs will settle down and find resting areas further away from human settlements than closer to them on
They will,
purpose. They are smart
yeah.
enough to understand that humans are dangerous. I should avoid humans because I am a predator, but humans are stronger predators.
And they like to kill
The
us, and they're
so
more dangerous.
I was in I was in the town hall meeting with Representative Bilbert, and I
Mhm.
swear to God, she said wolves don't recognize county lines. She said those
Yes,
words,
they
and I
do.
was like, yes, they do. They
There's
do. They
multiple
are
studies that
smart enough
all
to
that
understand where human
reinforce it.
settlements are and to avoid them.
Like there is literally studies that nearly all animals know that purely on the fact that they literally have no choice in the matter.
Yeah, because humans are invading all of their natural ecosystems. And
And their homes
the
get
the
split
the,
across by the fucking roads too.
the wolves are
Like
smart enough to like migrate and move away from human settlements and know to not attack humans and know to not go near houses unless you're like absolutely starving and desperate for food. But then there's this whole stupid livestock argument that she keeps bringing up, and it's like wolves aren't the
that
main
hasn't been in
problem.
fucking
There have
decades.
been 2 cases of livestock being attacked by wolves in Colorado. Okay? 2 cases.
Two. It's just two.
Two
You
cases,
know?
2 cases this year, and she had the gall to say, "Oh, I've heard 49 cases." No, you have not. I've done the research. In all of Colorado, there were only 2 attacks. So how is it that in just your district there have been 49?
What have you been what is wrong with your district? And where are
That
you
it's
getting this
not. What is wrong with
information?
your district that it is
Can
not
we make
reporting these 49 wolf attacks?
you know what? I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Can we make politicians be forced to bring up their sources directly in front of people
Oh
and
my god,
explain,
I wish she showed me a
like,
source so I could at least disprove it. But she can
because
just
at
go around
least
and claim
then
whatever number is
we could,
convenient for her to push her like anti-wolf agenda.
like, also, but then we would also have to not deal with so much fucking false information by them being spread around because then people would be like, hold up,
Right?
what the fuck?
I
Dude.
and this is so anti-conservationist because we just in 2023 voters made a resolution to reintroduce the gray wolf to the Rocky Mountain 2 years ago. And that those 2 years ago we made that choice as a pool of voters by our majority to reintroduce the gray wolves at 10 to 15 wolves every year. And there have only been 2 attacks as of this year after after a total of 45 wolves have been reintroduced, and we don't and a few have bred and repopulated. The issue is that those wolves understand to avoid settlements, but they're still being reintroduced as of 2 years ago. 2 years ago. D- We don't have the population stabilized here in Colorado. And the Colorado representative has the gall to be like, well, we're going to allow people to shoot the wolves now. Don't. That is wrong. That is so wrong in so
Dude,
many
like,
ways.
okay, okay.
We've
Well,
we've we have put decades of effort to get the population stable, and we just voted on a resolution to reintroduce them here in the Rocky Mountains. Don't undermine our votes and our effort into rehabilitating this species just because there have been 2 incidences, reportedly there are 49, 2 incidences of wolf attacks on livestock. Instead of
that we don't even
investing,
know is accurate.
yes, right,
And like, okay, okay, and additionally to
more
that, it's like,
livestock will die to diseases than wolf attacks.
and a lot of them are
So
dying of
why
diseases
aren't
right now
we?
because the regulations are so fucked up right now. We need regulations for a reason.
I swear to God. Oh wait, the Zenla Zone Zero is installed.
Oh,
I've
well,
been,
so
I
confirmed.
probably, it's probably been installed for probably like, I don't know, 4 minutes at this point.
Okay, okay, but
We've been rambling
I
for
yeah,
8 minutes straight, by the way.
yeah, let me add into a point. Florida, like when we had a voting thing, the elections, like we were able to vote on certain things, and I'm not gonna talk about abortion stuff because I'm gonna get very pissy about it. But
Oh, I might too.
yeah, let's stay away from there because that will lead it to us actually screaming, like in general about the bullshit some of this shit is. But they pass a law where people can just like fucking shoot down animals. You know, I don't remember it
I'm
fully, but
so.
that's roughly what it was basically saying. Shoot out animals didn't really matter much. But the thing is, we have a lot of fucking endangered animals where I live. Like, we have more invasive animals than you would expect.
Alright, I've got to hide this game capture real quick so I can sign in.
Yeah. But
One thousand.
people don't realize how fucked up it is until they actually have to go through and deal with what's the aftermath.
Yeah,
It's
until they
really
have to deal with the consequences, then they realize that they've screwed over the whole environment. And that's
it's
something
so
that
fucked
happened
up.
back in 1979 when wolves were hunted almost to extinction. There were only like 2,500 wolves remaining. That that's the number that you have to be below in order to get put on the list. There were less than that. And we finally got the number up to 200,000 in several areas thanks to monitoring and rehabilitation and reintroduction and conservation efforts, but we haven't reintroduced them to all of their territory that they had previously. Ecosystems like the Rocky Mountains, parts of Yellowstone, parts in Alaska, they still don't have that population of gray wolves that they had previously to balance them out. And now we're making choice to just uh hello, Leah. I
Welcome to us
welcome to
yelling.
me rambling about recent uh recent news that I've found that has made me pissed off to high hell about um removing wolves from the endangered species list because they attacked a few livestock. I am
Like
absolutely
they're
livid
animals.
right now.
Like, why do we treat them stupid in certain aspects and then other aspects we treat them like they're really intelligent and dangerous? Like,
I,
is there not a fucking point when they can be both?
I've been legitimately fuming all day over this point, and I really wanted to just make a stream so I could drive home how important gray wolves are to natural ecosystems, so I could emphasize my point and, you know, prove how terrible this uh piece of legislation is. I've
Yeah.
and
We
they
should make a
so
game about it, perhaps,
they
too.
they they've introduced this law to take gray wolves off of um that they've introduced this law to take gray wolves off of the endangered species list, due in part to their numbers, but also in part to the fact that they have made attacks on livestock and such um in American territories. The
Yeah.
issue I have with this is that the number of attacks have been minimal compared to deaths from livestock due to diseases or to other notwithstanding circumstances unrelated to wolves. And more importantly, we need to underline the importance that this predator animal, this ambassador species that gray wolves are, in the ecosystems that they live in. Oh, right.
Okay.
I took a
Yeah.
very long break from Zenless Zone Zero. I played it for like 4 or 5 months in a row and then totally forgot about it. So I'm trying to
And then
get
I
back
got
into
ahead
it.
of it.
And then Ymir got ahead of me in it and has been on my butt about
Nagging.
uh continuing it, and
Please,
I just
please,
kind of
please,
forgot about
please.
it.
I
Hello.
need someone to talk to. Please, I'm gonna go insane.
and I've just and I just figured it was that streaming it would I figured that streaming would offer me the opportunity to vent my frustrations and talk a little bit about gray wolves and their importance in ecosystem conservation, as well as just like giving me something to do.
Yeah. Can I also like add like some other notes too? One
Sure.
thing that kind of pisses me off in general when people like are like, "Oh, but no, they're actually like everywhere and stuff." For like things like even like insects. Sorry to bring up insects in the topic, but people treat all sorts of like wasps, bees of any sort, like they're extremely dangerous, even though most times they're extremely passive and very much extremely important to the ecosystem. Like even moths. Like I
Mhm.
hate it when people roaches and stuff. Roaches are extremely good
Oh no.
decomposers. Decompo fuck, I don't care. You know what I mean.
Decompositioners.
Decompositioners. They they literally do it the best. There's only a very minuscule amount that literally go into houses, and most of the times they're just invasive species. But also, they're perfectly fine. They're extremely clean. Like they're one of the most clean animals out there.
Yeah.
Like insects in general are extremely clean, but the way that they get treated compared to even like mammal ones, it's horrendous.
Okay, I wanna this is my stream and I wanna wrangle it back to wolves.
Yeah, you're bringing it back,
Listen,
but also hear me out. Hear
no,
me out.
wolves. Wolves.
No, hear
Please.
me out. I'm wrangling
Ymir.
back towards it. I'm wrangling it back towards there. Okay, let me speak. Let me
Okay,
speak.
fine.
But also, if we get rid of the smaller animals too, it fucks with the larger animals in that area. They are literally all connected. Anything you do will affect other things. It's called the fucking butterfly effect. It's basic fucking logic.
And oh my god. I'm so irritated about this because they tried to delist uh uh they tried to delist gray wolves on back in 2020.
Which is
Back in 2020 when
insane.
the same administration was in control, they tried to delist gray wolves. And unfortunately, they didn't take into account all of the possible threats that could happen to wolves, genetic and otherwise. And as a result, like as a result of that, um, gray wolves ended up having their population decrease significantly. And this is combined with factors of, actual legal hunting because they were originally endangered back in 1979, which is uh, almost 40 years ago at this point. And since then, humans have developed more modern firearms, more efficient firearms, accurate firearms, different technologies to help with hunting. And human intrusion into wolf ecosystems has gotten worse and gotten more expansive.
Okay. I
Uh,
have
as a
I have political
result of that,
thoughts.
when they were uh, I don't use a webcam just because I don't like seeing my face on stream. But uh, when they were taken off of the list of endangered species, like it just it started to devastate their population again, and we were seeing wolf populations go down in a trajectory that would put them endangered again. And thank God, a judge in California actually listened to the case that environmentalist groups had and said, okay, we haven't evaluated the threats to the gray wolf population properly. We need to put them back on the endangered species list. And now they're trying it again here in 2025. And it's like you're repeating history. You're repeating the problems that we had before, and you're literally making it worse because this law is literally like this law is taking away the judge's ability to do what they did to save the wolf population.
They're asking if they want to, if they're allowed to suggest
Oh,
something.
sure. I just like, mm, you can't keep repeating history. You can't keep doing this. It's not going to be healthy for the environment. And she and the representative who's proposed this bill is like, oh, well, this is in the best interest of farming and livestock. But then she went on to say, yeah, I've heard of VTuber models. I've thought about
So
making my own, and I'd prefer it to just make my own personally.
yeah,
I like the thought
I
of
I
having my
would
own and
offer
doing
the
my own
help,
work,
but
and that's about
sometimes it's a bit more awkward. It's more fun to have faceless. I'm gonna be honest in
it.
general.
I've been sitting here on the event screen and totally not literally just rambling. But
Yeah.
so we're forcing ourselves to repeat the events that led to wolves near endangerment back in the 1970s, and we're also repeating 2020 all over again. We're not listening to the possible threats that the wolf population could have, and we're not actually putting research into the restrictions that we should put on hunting the wolf population. That that puts our ecosystem in a very serious amount of risk because we literally just spent decades trying to uh, re rehabilitate the species. I haven't had much time to work on VTuber models, mainly just because uh, I split my time between work and hobbies and learning how to code and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I'll get to it one day or another.
I
Anyways,
can help.
so
I've done that stuff before. I can't help. It's just a
mhm.
really big pain.
Yeah, I don't want there to be a repeat, and I don't want a species that I care so deeply about to just suffer again because it
Wolves
has
really
been
don't deserve it.
decades of rehabilitation for wolves, and now that they're finally, making an actual comeback, we're suddenly going to have legislation around that tries that whether intentionally or not drives them back into the ground. And that's not okay. And I'm not okay with that. As as someone who lives here in Colorado, it doesn't sit well with me. And it's it's especially for Colorado. We're our the Rocky Mountains are supposed to be our state's pride and joy. It's supposed to be an ecosystem that we deeply care about. We're literally like Denver is the mile high city, and we take
Dude, you
pride
guys are
in
so fucking
we're
proud of those fucking
we're
mountains.
proud of the 14ers and all of the mountains that we play host to, and
Like, I can
allowing
tell your state's fucking license plate a mile away.
yes, because they're all the freaking mountains. We care so much about these mountains, and yet our representative is introducing legislation that would cripple the ecosystems of these mountains because we'd be killing and hunting the wolves that we've just reintroduced.
Can I also add to the importance of why they really shouldn't be doing that, like, addition, like, long term wise, with, like, the plant stuff? Like, there's issues with the possible fact of landslides occurring eventually, either way. And if you're trying to cause something that's gonna end up making there's like an overpopulation of like deer and like other herbivorous animals, you're gonna cause issues with fucking stability, and then you're gonna cause mountains to get fucked over more and more. You're gonna cause all these fucking issues. You're gonna cause the fucking worries. Like, I'm trying to think of
she
how the water table. That's the word. The water table is gonna get lower in that area too. That's gonna affect farmers, and you're supposedly passing this to protect farmers. What you're gonna do is end up harming farmers in the long term. All because you just have this fucking bias against wolves, and you're bringing up these incorrect sets of data without telling anyone where you're getting it from. All because you feel like you're in the right.
yes.
All you're
Oh my
doing is
god.
endangering
I'm so pissed
animals
off at
and you're
her.
endangering everyone else.
And she had and during the town hall that I was in, she was going off about water quality and water supply, and she said like
I'll fight.
she informed us that a lot of our water runoff and our water supply comes from our forest, and if we don't have a
Hmm.
good forest, then we don't have a good water supply. And that sort of environmental awareness about how the factor of the ecosystem around us can affect our ability to survive out here in Colorado and our ability to thrive as a community, that is the kind of awareness that you should have regarding the whole ecosystem, not just trees and the presence of them and whether or not some are dead or not. You need to take into account animals around it. And God, my God, it pisses me off to no end how
It really
hypocritical it
does.
feels.
I I fucking hate that shit no matter what. It's like you straight up okay, you go for oh, but our water is so important, our forests are so important, and then they bring up murdering very precious predatory animals because they
In those forests and natural ecosystems that they just talked about
literally,
having pride in.
literally,
It's
like
like you
okay,
don't actually have pride in it, do you?
I'm gonna bring up bugs as an example in this case, but you know how like people are like, oh my god, save honeybees and all this stuff, when most times we actually should be focusing on the native life in that area. It's like, are you are they just gonna introduce some animal, some like wolf relative, and then be like, oh well, it'll be perfectly matched what the wolves were doing here originally? It's not. It's not. It's gonna cause issues. It's gonna.
Yes,
Gray
it
wolves work there for a reason.
they were there originally for a reason and not the brother species. And more
Yeah,
importantly, this is the gray wolves you're talking about. The gray wolves. Like, these, like,
you
this
have
is
to do it
one of
for the
the
emo kids, man.
most,
You can't fucking do
this
that.
is one of the most important species of wolf
Like it's
because it
a
covers
fucking. It covered so much.
so much. Yes. Oh my
Like
God.
they went extinct in multiple places in Europe, I believe. I think they were in Europe at some point.
What the fuck?
But they got extinct because they were hunted down. And that's what happened to a lot of European predators, and it's caused a lot of issues for them.
Yeah, just like don't why you can't
It's crazy.
profess to care about people's needs like this and then turn around and say, well, it doesn't count for this particular animal because we're having issues with it. No, you're not having issues with it. You're just looking for the easier answer. And honestly, gray wolves can be more easily deterred by adding infrastructure around where livestock is. Higher fences or electrified fences would keep wolves away from livestock. And while that may arguably cost a lot of money, the government subsidizes farms for pretty good reason to provide it with equipment to, protect the livestock. You
And
can't,
not to mention, like, okay, why were the wolves going out and going attacking livestock? Is there like an issue in the area nearby that's leading for there to be less prey?
yeah, you can't look at an incident in isolation when it is a part of an ecosystem.
You
That
can't do that in general. You're not supposed to.
you're supposed to look for the root cause rather than identify something on the surface level and just react to it. It's far too it's too short-sighted for us as humans to just react to every situation like that rather than addressing with our ability to reason and think the root causes of those issues. If wolves are attacking livestock, there must be a logical reason for it. And we can find that reason and we can address it. But we can do it without upsetting the ecosystem's balance. And it's
We
really
can do it in
upsetting
a way.
when they don't when people would rather go for the convenient option of let's just shoot these animals that are actually an important part to the ecosystem rather than pay attention to the balance of said ecosystem. I just am so God. It's so I don't want short-sighted people to be governing a large area like this and
I don't want. I
taking
don't think
and
people who are short-sighted should belong in government. If you're short-sighted, then you're literally just going to cause issues long term, especially with how our world is right now. You know?
yeah, I just wolves are an important thing, man. I
They
they're
are.
so important, and we can't just we need to research and understand where their population limits are in order to be able to address allowing hunting for them. And there's not there's no addressing going on with this particular bill, this direction that people are taking with
It really isn't. It's really illogical too, because like we've learned that wolves have been far more useful, and like they're not as bad as like a lot of fairy tales push them out to be. Most times, a lot of modern like
in a
normal
hundred
people who are like,
years, humans have only been bitten by wolves like 16 times.
yeah, and most of the times it's they're raised by humans so they get bit. It's almost
Actually, most of those times it was due to rabies.
well rabies too, but I meant like in
Rabies
general,
causing
like you would
aggression in
expect that.
wolves.
Yeah, but you would expect that to be more likely. Like I meant like because people also like yeah, I can keep a pet wolf, and it's like, dude, that's a wild animal. Don't do that. Don't do that, dude.
Mhm.
Like you can do that, but there's certain limits, and you should have regulations on that shit either way. But I don't think people should have a right to hunt down a good portion of animals like that, because then it leaves floodgates open for excuses of hunting down various like really endangered fucking species in general.
But the
Like
but the hunting lobby is like, oh, but we want to shoot these things. So
okay, but
let
have they
take
ever
this money
considered
and
that
let us shoot it.
they're like, oh yes, let's go shooting dogs now again
Yeah.
for sport.
Yeah.
That's literally what they're
Yeah.
saying. But if you say
Yeah.
that to their faces, they will like be like, "What?"
What?
But
No,
that's what
we're working to carefully cultivate and being very careful about managing our ecosystem. No, you're not.
mm, they're
You're not
not.
trying.
They're like there's a difference between doing it to survive and like actually like eat it, but we know they're not gonna eat those fucking wolves. We know they're not gonna do shit about the wolves. They're just gonna
They're
hunt
gonna
them
eat
down.
Chipotle. What
Yeah, they're gonna go eat Chipotle.
the
Like there's a
fuck?
difference between hunting down and then actually eating it and not being wasteful about
How
it
far along are you?
versus hmm
If I'm right here, just into chapter 3. Where are you?
um
Tell me when to stop.
um go forward, slow down. I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to see. Go back slightly.
Oh,
Go back slightly. Slightly, 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 slightly. Slightly bit more. I'm in the. I've started the epilogue of season one.
oh boy. That's pretty far behind.
Well, you see, Your Honor, I got a bit autistic.
Yeah, I noticed. Dude, I could go off so much about gray wolves, and I'm so pissed off that I didn't get the chance to ask my
They should
question.
have let you. They should have let you.
It's,
Do you know if there's a next time that it's being gone through, or is they it's it?
I don't know. I'll probably receive an email when it is, but like I just like I don't want to get hunted to extinction, man. I
No
like
animal
wolves.
deserves it.
I like wolves.
Like, oh my god, we have so many animals like predators here that should have been here, like panthers and stuff. Like literal black panthers should have been in.
You know what? No, hold on. You know what's fricked up? The
What?
fact that the representative is introducing this bill only 2 years after the voters approved the reintroduction of gray wolves into the Rocky Mountains. We approved it. We wanted this.
They're
We
like, oh yeah, secretly you'll
collectively,
change your
as
mind.
Colorado, said we want to reintroduce wolves to the Rocky Mountains and restabilize their population there. And now we're going to take them off of the endangered species list because someone else decided to. It's
And
going
it's
to
like,
undermine our vote and our efforts. We put effort into that. We put our opinions into that. That's fucked up.
it really
That is
is.
so. Ugh.
It's fucked up that governments can do that in general about stuff like that. It's so annoying.
Oh my god. Dude, this has been 37 emotional minutes for me. It feels
Yeah.
like it's been longer.
God. But punches wall. Stop. Punches wall again. Fucking up with predator animals. We need them.
Yeah,
Like, just
we need
because
them.
we need it. You can't just suddenly change an environment and expect it to be all okay. It's
You
not going to
can't.
be okay. We this also irritates me, is stuff with like deforestation too. It's like when they try to be like, oh, we're gonna reforest it, they don't put any like undergrowth in there. And like also with lawns and stuff, when you know, like you see like people are like, oh yes, my lawn's perfect, and it's like it's only grass, like lawn grass, and it's like flat down, basically next to nothing. It's all
Bruh
been cut, it's
moment.
all been mowed, and they don't have anything there. It's basically dead weight. It's dead space. There's nothing in there.
Get a tree
They
in
don't
there,
have any.
please. At
Put
least.
native wildlife where you have places in your lawn. I get it that people are like, yeah, whatever, but I don't want to take the effort into it. If you put native wildlife into your yards, it's the far easier to not deal with them. You can just let them grow. They'll be perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if it looks pretty or not. It's going to help the animals nearby as well.
I had a few very
It's
nice
gonna.
morning glories grow out of the potted. So, this is a fun segue. Uh, when I last spring and summer, I believe, my dad was like, "Oh, there's a bunch of weeds in the back. Uh, maybe we should go and pull them." And then I realized that those were morning glories, and they
Morning
were
glories
just
are
kind of
beautiful.
naturally popping up around our yard. And I was like, "Hey, wait a second." And my
Just
dad was like,
because they
"Okay." let's plant them into the flower pots because we don't have flowers here. And those morning glories kicked ass.
Dude, yeah. Like if you can always look and
I
see
just
where
like,
what plants are native in your area as well. And oh my god, you would be surprised at how many gorgeous ass fucking plants there are
yeah, I
in your
just,
area that you might not even know of.
I think I just saw the viewer number tick up. You could totally ask me about wolves, and I will definitely go off again in case you missed it. But I would so go off about wolves as many times as is necessary to inform as many people as possible because
Please,
I
please,
am so
please,
passionate about these guys. And
please.
there's recent talk of stuff going south for them,
Yeah.
and
And
I'm
like,
pissed
okay.
about it. So
And
whoever
like, additionally, like, I don't know what the fuck these people are thinking, but like, I know these type of people are the type of people who don't give a shit about the environment in the end. They just want to look good and get the credit for doing things that people they're basically hiring and like controlling do. They don't act like I fucking love the fucking wildlife services. Those people almost always are very passionate about their work and actually care a lot about animals. It's important. The thing is, it's very important to have money going to these type of places as well because if they get funding, they're able to do more research. They're able to improve our environments and they're able to try and see if there's any ways that we could fix and adjust any issues that they come across over time. And they'll also be able to help fix the fucking water tables better if there's issues with that. Not to throw any hands, but to throw some hands.
Okay, I'm literally putting it on the stream. There we go. There we go. Ask me about wolves and their ecosystem.
Dude, I'm gonna do this once where I'm gonna fucking just put like a doodle of like you being like, talk to me about wolves.
There we go. There we go. The sign's up. Taps the sign. Taps the sign. Please, I'm deaf.